God bless you, and thank you for tuning in to the Hour of Power. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for spending this time with us. We're coming to you live from the store of Healthy You Pharmacy. We pray that all is well. All is well here, and we thank God for you. We thank God for our life, our health, and our strength. We thank you for tuning in. We thank you for um, just being a part of us. I know that we are away and far from each other, but we are still a part of the body of Christ. And we just thank you for being a part. We thank you for spending time with us. We thank you for tuning in. We ask at this time if you would like and share, subscribe, tell your friends, your family that we are on. And for the last 8 months, it's been 8 months, we've been talking about COVID-19, the coronavirus, and the do's and don'ts, and just giving you hopefully some helpful nuggets of how to navigate through this virus. We thank God for my beautiful wife, Sister Jada, and my beautiful mother, Mother Beverly A. Bush. We thank God for her. And we thank God for things as been as well as they are. We say all the time that we are in uncertain times, but we are certain that God is in control. And we put our faith and our confidence in God. And we just thank God for being God in our life. Let's have a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this time. We thank you for our life, health, and strength. We thank you for this day that we never seen before. We thank you for the way that you have made. We thank you for covering us and protecting us. Now, God, we ask that you be in all that we say and we do. In the matchless, wonderful name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Thank God and amen. We ask that if you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, if you write it in the chat room, we will get to it. I think it was last week we had some question and answering time. So if you have any questions, please feel free to write in the chat room and we will get to it. I want to jump right in because this is the holiday seasons. This is the most wonderful time of the year. We just got done with Thanksgiving, and we are looking forward to Christmas and New Year's. We're looking forward to the festivities that comes with the Christmas holiday. And so I want to jump right into it because we have to stay on our guard. This is a time where family comes together, and I'm noticing that this is not just an ethnic thing. This is a global, if you will, thing that whatever nationality, whatever color you are, this is a time where families come together, far and near. This is a time where we spend time and we eat and we laugh and we talk and we hug and we sleep, and then we go back and eat, and we just have a good time. It's been times that for our family we've had 30, 40 people in the house and just having a good time. And so this is a time where you come together near and far and just have a good time, and this we have to stay on our guards because this is not the time to do that. And that's really hard to say because this is what we're used to do. We have friends far and near that we just look forward to having them come to be house guests and just be a part of our lives for this beautiful time. And so we have to stay on our guards that, no dinners, no dinners outside of your immediate family, visiting, no company, friends or family. I mean, no parties. This is a time where the Christmas season, you go to several Christmas parties, but we can't do it this year. And it kind of throws a damper on the season, but I'd rather have everybody alive and healthy.
Right.
I'd rather be able to call my mom because she's there. And so we have to take those necessary precautions and not do it. What y'all think about it? And it's really funny because the governors and the mayors was telling people to stay home,
Right.
and they was out.
They were already gone.
But I understand it. I get it. I mean, when you're used to being with your, you just miss it.
No, I mean, but give me a break. Give me a break. I mean, I understand that this has been our tradition, but for your welfare of you and your family, what happens to our reasoning power? What happens?
I think it goes out the window. It's something that you're used to. I don't know about Jada, but it was tough not seeing y'all Thanksgiving. It was really tough. Now we had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Jada's great cook, and she did what she could, her best
Mm-hmm.
to make that day great. It was a great time.
Mm-hmm.
But for the last 40 years, 50 years, I
Right.
ain't 50 yet, but the
Mm-hmm.
last 60 years,
We've done it.
that's what we've done.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you get used to and look forward to that time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not an ethnic thing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's not you say just black folks come together.
Well, then
No.
it becomes mental, then, because I mean, for real, when they said stay at home, I was done. I was done.
Well, it took a little bit more for me
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, it was a given. We going to Sonia's for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was just a given. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's what we looked forward to. Or that's what I
Mm-hmm.
looked forward to. That's what we,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
so um I understand, and that's why we have to keep our guards up because
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, it ain't nobody but Chanel.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't nobody but LaRue.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't nobody but Goat.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where we have to keep our guards
Mm-hmm.
up because we don't know where this
Mm-hmm.
this infection lies.
And I think that's how it's getting out of hand because everybody looks at their loved ones as just their sister, just their brother, just their
Mhm.
mother. But in reality, it could be you bringing it into them. It may
Mhm.
not be them, it could be you. So you have to look at it in that way and say, I'm protecting them from me. Because you don't know if you're an asymptomatic carrier and then you go home to see your family and you get everybody else sick, but you're fine.
Mhm.
So how do you deal with that? I wouldn't want that.
Mhm.
God bless you, Lady Jackson. She's on my side. She said it took more for her too, but she
Mhm.
stayed home. It's a time of the year where you let your hair down or what's left of the rest of your hair, and you just enjoy one another.
Mm.
It's a time where you look forward
Mhm.
to,
Mm.
and
Maybe I'm just too cut and dry. Maybe I'm just too blah.
or maybe you just didn't want to see me.
Well, no, I'm not. Well, I can see you. I can FaceTime you. I can FaceTime you, and I'm happy, and you're healthy. You're healthy. I know that Jada was cooking, and I knew that Malia was cooking, and I know Asia was making his famous pie. But I'm so happy that you all are alive and well. I was fine with it. I was fine with it. So maybe it's me.
Bear with us. We are having some difficulties, but we're still here. God bless you. Thank you for being with us. I, you know, I just think it's the time of the year where
Mm.
you come together. This is what we do,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you had mayors and governors that got caught. I think one governor was in his hotel room telling the people to stay home.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I didn't have no problem when they said we wasn't going to St. Louis. I mean, I didn't break a sweat at all. So it's just me. It's me. And so I need to be a little bit more compassionate on people's feelings and emotions. So,
yeah, well, it's that time of year
mhm,
that we come together. Usually from when we get back from St. Louis,
mhm,
we're ready for Thanksgiving.
mhm,
And so from Thanksgiving to New Year's,
mhm,
I don't know how many parties and get-togethers and dinners we
Mhm.
would have had,
mhm,
and so it comes
mhm,
with the times, in my
Mhm.
opinion. And so it was hard.
mhm,
It was hard for me.
mhm,
Um, I was I was
Mhm.
gonna sneak and have a dinner. Y'all come over and
mhm. Wasn't nobody
Yeah.
coming because
Well,
me.
I didn't know y'all was coming, but I was
We
going to
went-
invite y'all. And but it's not that time, and so
Mhm.
You can't let your guards down.
And if you need help, I'll help you. So if you have a party and invite us, I'll help you by not coming.
And that's the sum of it.
I'm gonna help you
because we are helping each other by staying right where we are. It's more detriment to come, and we finding out slowly the numbers from Thanksgiving, and so it was safer at home, and so and that's why we're here. Don't let your guards down. It's family, it's your friend. Are they okay? Don't let your guards down, because we don't know.
Don't know. True.
Stay away from crowds. Stay away from groups. It's too cold to have church outside. Those of you who's having church outside, dress warm. It's too cold, and so stay away. And which brings another issue: funerals and wakes. We've had a lot of family members, loved ones, friends, close friends to die that we just didn't feel safe going to the funeral. And so even when it comes down to a funeral, please use your best judgment. And it's not that time. It's not that time. I got a friend that told me that he caught the virus at a funeral. And he was just going to give his, to be a part, to show support. And he ends up with, he had his gloves on, he had his mask. And so it's just not that time. What you got to say, Jay?
I agree 100% with everything that's said. I would like the people in the chat room to maybe come up with some suggestions of ways that you potentially have planned to interact with your loved ones for Christmas. Are you doing a Zoom? Are you doing a virtual, gathering? Or are you sending gift cards in email? Or, what are some ways that we can connect other than in person and still feel like you're sharing that time with them? I think this is a way that we can still show our care and show our love and stay at home, because that's the biggest display of our love for one another, is keeping each other safe. So if anybody has ideas, I think that's something that we should share, because I know that people will be tempted. The closer it gets to Christmas, the invitations will come, and what can you do to respectfully decline without hurting someone's feelings or making them feel, I don't know, sensitive in terms of saying, no, I'm not going to be there this year. And mom was looking at me like, I don't care. Yeah. But
well, see, this year is our church Christmas party. We have it every other year. And so, I mean, just kind of an emptiness of not being able to.
I didn't know you were so sentimental.
Yeah, I must be getting more sentimental in my old age.
I mean, it's nothing wrong with that. But
I look forward to it. This is time where we, and then we are on the run so much that Thanksgiving and Christmas is my time.
Well, now, you can invite me. But guess what? I won't be there. And I am so sorry. I apologize, but I don't feel bad. I have no emotions to anything that's ignorant or anything that's unsafe. I have no emotions to it. And I feel like your wisdom would be to collaborate with my wisdom to stay safe. So if you want to bring me out of my safety zone, I have no feelings as to how you're going to receive my no. I mean, it doesn't even enter my mind that I'm hurting your feelings by saying I won't be there.
And it shouldn't. And I think that's what I mean by saying keep your guards up. Because I think we let them down for things and times that we are used to. I think that's what happened with those mayors and those governors,
Mhm.
because they were saying the right thing.
Mhm.
Y'all stay home and y'all be safe.
Mhm.
But they was in the airport and then out
Mhm.
of the country and out of town.
Mhm.
It was something that they were used to doing.
Mhm.
You church got Christ to the bone.
Mhm.
When they canceled, even the times where we don't get a chance, it's been some times, some years we didn't get a chance to go to St. Louis. We missed it.
We missed
We
it.
was wondering what's going on.
Right.
And
right.
that's
couldn't
how,
hardly take it. I couldn't hardly stand being alone.
and that's how I am.
Oh, okay. But
This year, and but I knew it was for the better, and we just can't allow, us to let our guards down. Because as soon as we let our guards down, then that's where the trouble can lie. Sister Carmen Lugo, thank you. She said, my godson invited me to his birthday dinner. It hurt me to tell him that I wasn't coming. A week later, I found out that he had COVID.
What?
So I thank God for the no. And, a lot of us have stories. A couple months ago, I was considering opening up church. And one of the members, and I was like, man, I just thank God that we didn't do that, because, it could have been a whole nother story.
I think that wisdom must take the priority. Wisdom must take the first place now in your decision making.
And I understand that. But then you say, oh, that's Mama, or oh, that's Nell, or that's Jada. And I think the closeness of our relationship overrides what really should happen. But I do understand. But no, I'm not talking about, illegal activities.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, because that's why we talking, because we say keep your guard up. So even though that's Mama, well, we could affect each other.
And then if we're going to teach this, as much as it may hurt you or disturb you, let's teach it straight across the board. I'm your mother. I need to stay home. Simple as that. And if I don't know to stay home, then you need to tell me to stay home, or look at me through the window. And no, if we're going to do it, let's do it straight across the board. So now you're telling the people, when you go to the grocery store, do this, 1, 2, 3. When you go to the pharmacy, do this, 1, 2, 3. But when it comes to family, do what you want to do.
Yeah. And that's why we here. Yeah. Keep your guards up. So the same thing apply for family as the stranger that you don't know.
Well, I didn't visit a lot before COVID. I've never trained myself to be a visitor. Now, if I was invited, that was different. But now that COVID is here and you need to be safe and careful, I don't have a problem staying at home.
And probably starting out, a lot of people didn't have. But now we looking almost a year in, and they're getting the itch. Stay on your guards. Don't let up. Don't let up for family. Don't let up for friends. Chanel bring up a good point. The stats show that this is also the most loneliest time of the year, around the holidays. So now you're dealing with the piece of depression, suicidal, loneliness, and some people just don't want to be alone. And so instead of being alone, they are willing to risk their health and others to not have to deal with that feeling. But we have to keep our guards up, regardless who it is. At this time, groups and visitations and parties and dinners is not the best thing to do.
And another thing that it triggers for me as we're talking, that on a day-to-day basis, maybe we need to reach out more to loved ones. Since we're using these holidays as times of reunion, well, let's just become closer. Let's reach out. Let's do Zoom. Let's do more FaceTime. Let's just get on the phone and talk to each other more.
That's a great point. So we can Zoom more. We can call more. We can text more. I remember the old school church, at our church, for your birthday, you get a cake.
Mm-hmm.
So someone will make a cake for every, so let's get back to just the old school way of building and maintaining a relationship. I do agree with that. I like that. And we thank God for technology.
Oh my, yeah.
We could talk, we could text, we could
yeah.
FaceTime.
Yes.
We can send a video.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot that we can do, and let's use it all. The old-fashioned way, throw a card in the mail, and hey, I'm thinking about you, and that goes a long way, especially at this time and in this time. I believe that goes a long way.
And I think Dr. Jada is going to tell us how to open up our meal properly.
Well, you want to tell us?
Did you say the meal?
Mail.
Oh. Well, first of all, let's seal it properly. You shouldn't be licking these envelopes these days. Let's start with that. Because you should use a sponge and some water. And if you can, I mean, I don't know who's running. What are you looking for in the mail that you're really hot after? But if you get the mail, you should let it sit 24 to 48 hours. I just leave it. And then I go and look at it. Paper is really porous, so it shouldn't have too much on it, but the sticky tab that person could have licked, you definitely shouldn't touch it. There's mail openers. If you don't have that, use a good old-fashioned butter knife or something. Open it from the end or the opposite side, or just run that knife on it, but you don't want to touch that flap that could potentially be contaminated from someone else who could have licked the envelope to close it. So that's something to keep in mind, because you just don't know what other people are doing with the mail. Packages too, same with that. A lot of packages coming. I'll leave them sit, and pastors always, what's in this box? And I just leave it sit there, because again, these are hard times. You just don't know.
All right, so we have to keep our guards up. Second thing I want to talk about is the reality check. And that reality check is, we have to assume that if the person is not in your house, in your immediate house, then we have to treat them, or anyone we come in contact with, like they're infected. So if they're not in your house, anyone else that we come in contact with, we have to treat them as if they are infected. And I will go as far as to say, if you're not, then you're acting irresponsible. So along with keeping our guards up, we have to be real. Let's be 100. Anybody we come in contact with, we have to treat them as if they are a carrier. And so your high school buddy you seen at the store that you ain't seen in a long time, hey, elbow shake or whatever they doing these days, but 6 feet, social distancing. And we have to put that in play. As much as you want to hug, as much as you want to kiss, as much as you want to reach out, because ethnic folks, we are touchy-feely folks. And so we have to treat everyone that's not in our household as if they're infected.
With love.
With love. Well, yeah.
I love you.
But don't touch me. I love you, but stay 6 feet.
Stay where you is.
Stay where you is at. And again, it's really easy to let that guard down. The other day, I was making a run, and I caught myself because I ran out without my mask. So before I get to where I'm going, I run back to the car, put the mask on. And so we have to treat every situation, because if the chances and the percentage of you catching this when you leave the house, if it's high, then we have to treat every situation as if it's an infection. What do you say, Doc?
I agree 100%. And I think that the biggest piece we have to keep in mind is you can't see this virus. I mean, that's the easiest way you have to look at it. You can't look at a person and tell if they have coronavirus, whether you know them or not, whether you're at work. A lot of people are contracting the virus at work. And that's scary because if you're an essential worker, you're expected to be there. And there's some essential workers that are being told to come in even if they're symptomatic.
Right.
So that's something to keep in mind when you're going to the store. You may stay 6 feet away from the person behind you, but what about the person ringing you up? You have to make sure you're standing behind those plexiglasses and you're using your sanitizer. Use your card as much as possible so that you don't have to give anything to that person and don't have to receive anything from that person. If you handle your card and utilize the self-checkout, in terms of your payment form, that'll save you an additional touch point from a person that could potentially be working and carrying the virus. So all of these little nuggets can help to keep us safe. The colder it is, the more people stay inside. The more people stay inside, the easier it is to contract the virus because now it's closed in and you're in close quarters. So that's also something to keep in mind. If at all possible, if someone does get it, try to open up some windows and get the circulation flowing, even if it's a little chilly, because anytime you can get new clean air in and out, that's going to help you. So just another little tidbit to keep in mind when you have to come into those situations. We went to the dentist and they had the windows open and it was freezing, but I understood it because they needed fresh air. They're in a very vulnerable position working in that type of environment. So they had all of the windows open in the office and they had heaters, space heaters, but I was happy to see that. And I thank them for working in those conditions because, they have to protect themselves.
Right.
And so it's very important, every situation that we treat as if there's an infection. When you go to the doctor, when you go to the store, when you go about your daily duties, we have to treat it, and that's the reality of the matter, because when you walk out your front door, the chances of you catching this disease is high. And so if the percentage is high of us catching, then we need to govern ourselves accordingly. That was one of the complaints that the nurses were having because they felt like they didn't have enough protection. And so we have to use what we have and ask God to do the rest. What do you say? What say you?
Well, I appreciate this connection with Dr. Jada and with you, reaching out to the community, informing them of things, and even reminding them, because this is the day that we're living in. I receive a lot of calls from people that have watched it and have been blessed and enhanced and enlightened through this situation, just helping them to navigate through it safely. And hopefully for those that are not listening, sooner or later, they'll catch on and begin to listen and become safe. Have a safer place for their families to live in and a safer place at their workplace.
And again, we thank you for tuning in, and we hope something is said that you can apply to your life. This is nothing new. Most likely as review, but it is that time and it is that season where we all come together and get together. And so we need to keep our guards up, and then we need the reality check. We need to get back to square one. Let's protect ourselves. Let me and again, if someone is disrespectful, and what I mean by that, if someone is not wearing their mask, let's get out of Dodge. If someone is not taking the precautions to be safe and be protective, get out of Dodge. Let's not fool with it. It shouldn't be a conversation. Don't look at them crazy. Just get out, get away. You know, because it's easier to get away than causing a confrontation. There you go.
And then piggybacking with that, I'm hearing that emotions are on the rise and people are very on the offensive end, and things quickly take place that on normal circumstances wouldn't have happened. And so it made me realize, because I'm an adjustable person. Whatever you tell me I need to do, that's what I'll do, regardless of anything. And so I've become more compassionate toward people that have mental conditions, or there are people that have problems staying at home. So I think that if we see that someone we know or a relative of ours, they're having some problems, we can call them and reach out and minister to them or read scriptures or say things that's encouraging to them, because there are people that are really struggling. Now we play a lot and we laugh at some stupid stuff because some people just do things that just doesn't make sense. That's not a wisdom. But there are some people that are honestly in trouble. And it's my motto to call and to reach out and to help. And this is a time that pastors have a lot. You know, I'm looking at you because you've always been so strong in our lives. And if we needed anything, everybody go get Mike. Mike can help. Mike can do it. Mike can get it done. But you're a pastor, you're a man, but you need prayer and you need somebody to reach out, somebody to pray for you, and somebody to love on you. And I know that your wife is doing a wonderful job of doing it, but we slow down, and I look at it at a different way now. I look at it, because I'm not a person that had a whole bunch of sympathy because people couldn't get together. I'm like, well, just stay home. But I'm looking at it in a different area now. So then I do something about it. I reach out.
And it's a tough time. It's a rough time, not just for pastors, for everybody, whether it's economically or mentally or spiritually. It's a tense time, even socially. The social climate is still at a high temperature rate. It's been some time, but it won't take much to push them over the edge. And so it is a thick time. And I'm not giving the devil no type of glory.
No.
I'm just being real. It's a thick time. Parents are upset, either because they're not in school or they are in school. I mean, so you got one end of the spectrum. People are upset either for wearing masks or they don't. You know what I'm saying? It is a thick time, and so we have to be aware of that.
Right, and compassionate. It's one thing to know it, but then it's another thing to help or to make a contribution to reach out.
And so, we are bright spots, or we are here to be bright spots in the lives of the world. We are the salt of the earth. We are the light of the world. And so it's our job to spread and illuminate light where it's needed. That means we have to know what we're doing at all times. I believe, and I believe it's people out there purposely reckless, purposely irresponsible, purposely trying to push and start a fight. And so if we take part of that, we're going to fall susceptible what comes with that. The Trump supporters are still out and they're angry. It's 75 million of them. So, I mean, we have to be careful.
And the charismatics, or is that
the angelic?
Angelic. They are
Angels
having
from
some hard
Africa.
time. Hmm.
You know,
They,
and so it's a thick time. It's a thick time. Put on top the time of the year.
mhm,
Suicide rate goes up.
Mhm.
A crime rate goes up.
mhm, mhm.
You know, so we're dealing with several layers, if you will, of things and,
But
and
if
issues.
you notice, and I don't want to cut you off, hold your point. Have you noticed how careful they are talking about
Okay.
crime?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not really on the front page anymore. You might hear about a little vandalism, but you're not hearing a whole lot about crime. And even though the suicide has gone up, you're not hearing a lot
Now,
about
hear
it.
about it. Now
Mm-mm.
you hear about somebody got shot,
Oh yeah. Mhm,
you know, or
mhm,
somebody came up at the hospital shot, but
mhm,
you're not hearing about, or the homeless.
mhm.
What do we do with the homeless?
Well, they helped them for about 5 weeks.
Well, they
Mhm.
really need help now. It's
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
getting 30. It's cold,
Mhm,
and so it is a thick time.
mhm,
It's several layers of issues,
mhm.
and so you know we got to keep our guards up
Right.
because seeing you is a breath of fresh air. Seeing Nell, have Nell come over. It's a breath of fresh air.
Mhm,
We can detox and get away, if you will, from societal issues.
mhm,
But that's not the safe thing to do.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
Um, and I really believe that the world is looking to the wrong place
Mm,
to solve their issues.
mhm.
It's in God. It's in Jesus Christ.
Right.
It's not in a dinner. It's not in
No.
a
Mm-mm,
group. It's not in a party.
mm-mm,
It's not in the drink. It's not in a drug. It's in God.
mhm.
And so we live in a time where um, the temperature, if you will, of the temperament of the people
Mhm,
is at almost boiling point.
mhm,
You notice at any given time it could be a fight. You know, at any given time it could be a misunderstanding,
mhm,
and it's always been that way. It just seems like it's more prevalent now.
mhm, mhm.
That a trip to the grocery store, not only can I catch corona,
Mm,
but I can give somebody a black eye
mhm. Or get shot.
or get shot.
Become like the young man walked in the mall, pulled a gun and just shot a man in
Yeah,
front of everybody.
yeah.
Got away with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know, you go to the store and give somebody a two-piece, and I ain't talking about a chicken dinner. You know, but that's the temperature, and so we have to be level-headed.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm,
the society is on edge.
mhm.
Not only that, the employees that are working in these stores are on edge.
Yeah.
You talk about two-piece. What about them?
Yeah.
They are really bad. And I understand that that's probably very challenging for some of them to have to work in this type of time.
Mhm,
But we didn't choose your job. We didn't choose for you to be a cashier at this time. But yet they treat you like
Yeah.
you're imposing on them to have them to ring you. So that's another source of anguish. And I'm sure they're stressed, financially and just worried about themselves and their family. What are they going to take home? So there's a lot of ways to look at what you're dealing with. And we say, oh, we're going through XYZ, but realistically, we are so blessed. We have everything we need. So we can't relate to those people who are angry or who, are very temperamental because we haven't walked in their shoes or experienced a day with potentially nowhere to go home. Or think about it. All these people held their bills and followed all these guidelines, and now they have disconnects, they have eviction notices. I mean, this stuff is coming due, and you have people dealing with that. And what do? They don't have a new stimulus check, they don't have unemployment boost, so there's just a layer, to your point, on top of that layer that people are dealing with, and you don't even understand outside of just this virus.
Brother Peter Band said a two-piece and a biscuit. and that's what we mean by when we say plan your day, not just your route and your schedule, but plan what you up against. Know what you're up against. Let God navigate your day, because it could go far left.
And understand that you may be the only glimpse of God that person may have. So how are you going to react to them being down, or how are you going to react to their attitude? Do you say, Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for doing this job. And I pray that you and your family are blessed, and we're praying for you, covering you while you're in this position. Or do you turn your nose up and say, roll your eyes and say, what's your problem? Give it right back. So you have to always display God in what you're doing, because you may be in that position just to help that person.
And that's our job. That's our job, to spread light, to spread love, to bring illumination to a tenfold. When we walk, our presence should subside whatever evil spirit that's trying to come up against us. So wherever we go, we should change the atmosphere. That's what we are placed on earth to do.
And if we can't, stay home.
If you can't, stay home.
If you got to do a 2-piece and a biscuit, stay home.
Stay home.
Peter.
God bless you, Mother Marsh. She says, what is your thought on the vaccination or the vaccine?
Well, I think that in all actuality, most vaccines take years to be proven safe, effective, and be rolled out. And this has happened very fast. So you can't really say what the long-term effects will be if it hasn't been studied long-term. So in my opinion, it's a very thin line in terms of whether or not people should receive this vaccine, because you don't know what will happen a year from now, or you heaven a day from now. So they haven't given it to enough people to really be able to say it's safe and effective. Now, they have done trials and studies to show in a small control population what will happen, but I don't think the data is strong enough to say that it's something that I would push my friends and family to do at this time. So that's where I stand. Now, I do understand that something has to be done. I just don't think that I want to be the one to do it personally.
Right.
And I pray that those that do get it don't have any side effects or any problems, but it is the first step being made to control this virus.
I feel like it's not enough. Like you said, it's not enough information yet to make a decision whether or not I'm gonna take it. I do know in the process leading up to this time, they had to halt and stop their studies because some people died. Now, they wouldn't tell us what side, but we probably could guess what side died, whether it was the tests or the placebo effect. But it's just not enough there to make that type of decision. And in my what I think is it comes in 2 sessions, right? So you get the shot, and then 20 days or so later, you get the second shot. It's just not enough information.
And not only that, they haven't had enough studies in terms of the antibodies and how long they last in your body. So, and by that I mean, how long will this vaccine protect you from this virus? So, for example, originally they thought if you got the virus, you couldn't be reinfected with it. Well, very quickly we found out that people were getting it a second time. So that's what the antibodies are in your body. It's the exposure to this virus, and then your body's response to protect itself from it. And when you introduce a vaccine to a person, your body has an immune response, and it produces the antibodies naturally to protect you from the virus in the future. So if you can't say how long the protection lasts naturally, you can't really say how long it will last when you're inducing it either at this point. So those people who they're saying this is safe and effective in, it hasn't been long enough to say, okay, it was 6 months later and now they got it anyway. It may have protected them for a short period of time, but how long is it lasting, and what are the side effects long term?
Yeah, just not enough information. And I think over in the UK, they're giving the vaccination out, and they're just watching them. But as for me and my house, we're gonna serve the Lord. We thank God for you, Sister Carmen Lugo. She says, stay prayerful, speak kind words, and let them see the smile in your eyes. which means you got a mask on.
You got a
So
mask on.
God bless you, Sister Carmen. Thank you.
Mhm.
Sister Chanel, Bill Gates is not a medical doctor. He's not. He's just going to profit from
Mhm.
the proceeds
Mhm.
from this vaccination.
Mhm.
Like Jada said, it takes years to bring out a vaccination. To do it within a year, it's just too many questions. Um, so we'll see how it goes, and then we cross that bridge when we get to it.
Mhm.
But as for right now,
Mhm.
we're gonna serve the Lord.
And without improving the vaccine any, they said it's going to be all the way up to September of next year before everyone is able to get it.
Oh, yeah.
That's a long time for us to be protected from something that they're not even 100% sure about anything.
Well, if you look at the numbers, it's approximately 350 million people in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the numbers of what they ordered, it's nothing close.
No.
Because you need at least 6 million vaccinations. If it comes in two,
Mm-hmm.
you need at least 7 million.
Mm-hmm.
If I got doing my math right.
Mm-hmm.
So so the numbers is not even adding
Right.
up.
And
So
they're
that
not
means they ain't got us in mind anyway.
right. Oh wow. And not only that, everybody hasn't had the opportunity to be tested.
Right.
People are still trying to get tested, and you're
Right.
passing out a vaccine. Something is wrong with that.
And you have to think about who they're giving the vaccine to. So are you giving it to people who you know don't already have antibodies, or are you doing the antibody testing to see if the person needs the vaccine? So there's just a lot of things that are very unclear. They're saying they're going to target medical professionals and nursing home staff and different things like that, which I understand because they have to keep those places staffed and operating because they are definitely the front line. But then at the same time, they say we won't give one staff the vaccine at the same time. So you have to think about what that implies as well. So there's a lot.
And then you look at the UK. I think a 90-year-old and 97-year-old are the first to get it.
Something wrong with that picture.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because they're not essential in anything. And not only
Somebody's
that,
mom, maybe.
The state supervisor.
yeah, praise God.
State supervisor,
And-
third ecclesiastical.
And let me tell you what happens to the first X amount of people that took the vaccine. They took the vaccine and they had to observe them 30 to 45 minutes after the vaccine. So they left that place and went into a confined room and they observed them for 30 to 45 minutes. Has that ever happened?
Well, and so my thing is, it seemed like should have been a doctor or a nurse, to be the first to get the vaccine because they are dealing with infectious people, to give it to a 97-year-old.
A message, allegory. You got to see under that. You got to see through that. That's allegory. That was done for a reason.
So, it's not available just as of yet in the U.S. And so.
And, as wicked as we are, can you foresee the fuss over this vaccine, pulling rank, paying more money? They're saying how they've gotten it figured out how they're going to distribute it. But I mean, I can see a lot of corruption that could take place. If we can't vote and do it fairly, how are we going to pass out vaccine? There's some people that's going to want it so bad,
And they can have it.
And
and Trump slipped up and said he was going to let the military distribute.
Yeah.
Which brings on a whole nother set of issues.
Whole nother. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna wait for the second round.
Well, we gonna. The Lord is good to us.
Yeah, I ain't gonna mess with this round.
Lastly, before we close out, and again, thank you for tuning in. I hope we said something to help you. I hope we made you laugh and smile, but also giving you some information that you can apply to your day. In this season, the Christmas season, is high volume stores. The stores are packed.
Mhm.
A lot of crowds. So what is the best way to shop? And I'm not talking about Christmas shopping.
Mhm.
I'm talking about getting the items, the things that you need,
Mhm.
your groceries, the things for your everyday life.
Mhm.
What is the best way to do that?
Couple of things. So we talked about this a lot. Planning. Have a list. Not a list in your phone because you don't want to touch your phone, but a paper list. Know what you're going in for. And one of the things that you can do is make sure you're shopping at off-peak hours. If you're going at 4 to 7 in the evening, everybody is getting off of work. That's the worst time. Go early in the morning or late at night. And if you don't have to, don't go in the store at all. Use the curbside pickup options. A lot of the stores now, you can order your items online and you drive up to a particular numbered spot and they will bring them out and put them in your vehicle without you ever leaving your car or touching anything. You've paid at home on your personal device and you're safe. So if you have that option, that's the number one option. Now, some people are so picky in every little thing that they're buying, and I understand, but this isn't the time for that. Just get what you need and get it the safest way possible.
So curbside pre-orders. How do you do that?
It depends on the store. Most of them have apps or websites, and you basically will put the items in your cart and you will purchase them, and you will select at checkout curbside pickup. And then when you get to the store, you can alert the store. Some of them you call, some of them you check in on the app, some of them you check in on the website. Usually you'll get a confirmation email of your purchase, and there'll be an option on the email to say, I'm here. And then that'll alert the store that you're outside. So you don't have to go in to even tell them you're there. They'll know you're there, and they have designated spots. And then they will come out. A lot of them will tell you to describe your vehicle. So you may put the color and make of your vehicle. So then they know who you are when they come out, and you know who they are. They usually have on, clothes related to whatever place you're going to. If it's Target, a red shirt, or Best Buy, a blue shirt, I don't know, whatever you're looking for. But they will know you when they come out, and then they'll put the items in your trunk. You pop your trunk. They don't have to come in contact with you, and then you can go home.
Okay.
Or they'll do home service.
Yes. There's also options that will shop and bring it to your home. And they'll come and leave it on your doorstep, and they'll alert you that the items are there, whatever you purchased. That one usually is associated with a fee. But the ones where you do curbside, it's free of charge. So you just come and you pick up and you pay the same price. But when they deliver to your house, there may be an additional fee. But that is the safest option for you to stay home and let them bring it to your door, especially if you're in quarantine. That's a big winner for you, because now they can leave it, and then when they leave, you open your door and you get your items. You haven't come in contact with anybody, and no one has come in contact with you.
So if you can use curbside pickup, do the most shopping you can without contact.
So I noticed you said not Christmas shopping, but essential. So do you think that somebody is still out there trying to shop for Christmas?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, the stores are packed.
I mean, but not our audience.
Our people are not.
I think so.
Our
you
people.
mean this here audience that we talking to?
This top 14 probably have people that are shopping. I think it's realistic to say if you are shopping, do it the safest way possible. We don't have to assume. And that's how we make fools of ourselves and other people, by assuming that people are doing things the way that you're doing them. You already identified that you're different. You have a different mindset. And some people are creatures of habit. They are going to do what they're going to do. So our job is to try to protect them while they're doing it.
Mhm.
Get them to do it the safest way possible.
Mhm.
I've bought gifts, but I bought gifts online and they have been sent to the person that I'm buying them for.
Mhm.
So now they don't see me, I don't see them. They open their door and they have a box, and you're done. That's safe to me, and it's smart, and it's effective. So you don't have to go around and pass out gifts anymore. I mean, you can email a gift card. How simple is that?
Easy.
And the gift card can be for essential things.
Mhm.
So it's not being unreasonable, because to me, if I send you a gift card for Target, it's because I know that you need toilet paper or you need bottled water. It's me trying to be helpful without being imposing on you in your situation and assuming that you need help. So in my opinion, that's how my mindset was. The things that I said were things that I thought people would need. So I think that's one way of helping someone, but not making them feel like they have a need.
That's smart. That's real smart.
And so we have to be wise.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be wise. Use a reputable site. And a reputable site most likely will give you a contact number that you just not sending and putting your credit card out there, that you putting it in a place where you know it's going to not take advantage of it. I think that's a big thing why people are still out. It's because they don't really trust using their card online. So use a reputable site, Target, or whoever, but make sure you can have a contact number if something happens, that somebody will take care of your needs.
Not only that, don't have the same password for everything. That's a big no-no right now, because people are waiting and preying on people that are home and shopping. They're watching for you to make the mistakes. So make sure you don't have the same password for every site, and you change your password. I mean, at least once a month, you should just make a change on your essential passwords, whether it's your bank account or anything that has access to your identity or your money. Change the passwords and use things that people can't guess.
Yeah.
And so we thank you for this time. We hope we said something to help you. We want to be a bright spot of your week, of your day, and we just want to help the people of God. Sometimes we're stern and strong with the content, and sometimes we're funny, and sometimes it is funny. Sometimes you just got to laugh to keep from crying. But we just want to be a strong part of your day, a good part of your day. Again, we thank you for tuning in. We ask that you would support our ministry. You could do that by Square or the Cash App, or putting a check in the mail. We pray that God will continue to bless you, that God will richly bless you, that God will bountifully, bound.
Bountifully bound.
How about we just use it differently?
Bountifully bless you, more than you have room to receive, abundantly, running over, pressed down, shaken together. We thank God for this time, and this is and still is the year of victory. We have a few more weeks to walk in victory and to have tremendous victory, great victory in our lives. If you can hear my voice, then that is enough to give God a victorious praise, because there are so many people dying. There are so many things going on other than just Corona. And so we just thank God for keeping us alive. We thank God for him staying in the hand of the enemy and keeping death at bay. And we just thank God for the wonderful things that he has done. We thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, write them in the chat room. We get to it for next week. But until then, we say God bless you. We love you. And thank you for tuning in.